Hello there, YouTube. With the 2016 presidential election around the corner, I can't help but have politics on the brain. But instead of talking about the candidates, I want to talk about something that doesn't come up much in American political thought. Color association. In the US, we might associate the Republicans with the color red and the Democrats with the color blue, but these are associations popularized by the media since the 2000 election. Neither party has an official color, and when you look at both parties' national conventions, they are plastered with red, white, and blue. Because of our two-party system, we don't need to think about other associations between political colors. So let's take a look at political colors around the world. Let's start with one you are probably most familiar with, the color red and communism. The Red Scare, the Red Menace. Even in the United States we are familiar with this association. But how exactly did this come about? The earliest reference to red flags with any political affiliation came from the 13th century. Pirates would raise a red streamer on their mast, signifying that they owed nothing to their king. By the 1600s, this evolved into a red flag, which was a symbol of defiance, with the red obviously symbolizing blood. The symbol would go on to take a more overtly political meaning during the French Revolution, when both the revolutionaries and the royalists used red flags. The royalists used them as a warning to rioters, and the revolutionaries used it to honor the blood of the slain revolutionaries. The red flag was used as an unofficial flag for France during the Reign of Terror, but because the tricolor remained so popular, it wouldn't be until the revolutions of 1848 when the red flag would become officially associated with revolutionary politics. It would finally receive its association with communism in 1871, when it was adopted as the official flag of the Paris Commune, which was subsequently put down by the French army. The color red is also affiliated with other left-wing groups, such as socialists and social democrats. In the UK and other Commonwealth countries, red is used by the left-wing Labour Party. And in case you think this is just a white or European trend, it is also used by the Partido Revolucionario Institucional, or PRI, in Mexico. And of course it is used by the Chinese and Japanese Communist parties. Following red, the next obvious choice for us to look at is blue. Most of the world associates the color blue with conservatism. It all started with the Tories in England adopting blue as their party color. However, unlike the color red being symbolic of blood and revolution, blue doesn't have any specific attributes associated with it. The Labour Party was founded in 1900, and it adopted the color red to signify its socialist principles. The Tories responded by adopting the color blue because it was the color that most contrasted with red. And here we see the long tradition of red versus blue. Blue is the color of choice for conservative parties in English-speaking countries, except America. Fuck yeah! As well as Latin America and parts of Europe and Asia. Next, we finish off the primary colors with yellow. The color yellow is often associated with classical liberalism, which has been inherited by modern libertarians. It is believed that yellow is associated with gold and the free market. It also has a past association with monarchism in Asia, with Chinese emperors frequently depicted in yellow. Next, we move on to green. The color green is associated with environmentalism, and is therefore the most frequent color used for environmentalist parties, such as the Greens. From there we go to orange. The color orange is frequently used by Christian democracy movements, which started out as the Catholic Church's response to rising socialism in Europe, which tended to be anti-religious. More conservative Protestants began forming their own Christian democracy parties as well in response to the rising socialism. Today, Christian democracy is generally socially conservative and free market oriented. The color orange is also used in Eastern Europe as a symbol for anti-Russian solidarity, like in the 2005 Orange Revolution in Ukraine. Up next is purple. The color purple was once associated with royalty, and some rulers even forbade their subjects from wearing it. This association has to do with the supply of purple dye in the ancient world. The dye came from a special species of snail in modern-day Lebanon. Because it was so rare and expensive, only royalty could afford it, thus becoming a sign of wealth and power. The UK Independence Party, a very conservative Eurosceptic party, is associated with the color purple, possibly drawing on the ancient associations of purple with royalty. From here we go to black, which represents two seemingly opposite political ideologies, anarchism and fascism. The anarchist roots of the black flag are similar to the origins of the red flag. It was used by pirates as a symbol of defiance, signifying that they had no allegiance to any state. In the 1830s, it was used by silk workers of Lyon during the Canute Revolt, and it was also used during the hunger riots in the 1840s to symbolize the desperation of the poor. It would not receive its modern association until 1880, when a French anarchist newspaper called Le Drapeau Noir, Le Drapeau Noir. Clearly 3 years of high school German have prepared me to pronounce things in French. The newspaper's English name is The Black Flag. The fascist roots of the black flag are an association with Mussolini. Before the First World War, Benito Mussolini was a world-renowned socialist writer and thinker on par with Vladimir Lenin. However, he broke with the Socialist Internationale by supporting Italy's participation in the war. The war did not benefit Italy, and in 1922, Mussolini led the paramilitary wing of the fascist party in a march on Rome, where the King of Italy abdicated and Mussolini was made the youngest prime minister in the nation's history. This paramilitary organization was commonly referred to as the Black Shirts due to their black uniforms. And finally, we get to the color white. The first obvious association with white is with pacifism. A white flag has always been a signal of surrender, symbolizing peace and compliance. White has also been associated with absolute monarchy. During the French Revolution, white was the common symbol of the Bourbon family. The tricolor of the revolution has white in the middle, which was meant to include the royal family in the reshaping of France. The only reason revolutionaries in France eventually abandoned the tricolor for the red flag is because monarchists co-opted it for French nationalism. There is also the association of white with the monarchists in the Russian Civil War. This conflict fought between the Red Army, led by Trotsky and other Russian communists, and the White Army, led by Tsarists and other anti-Bolsheviks, fighting to retain a non-Bolshevik Russia. There are other colors and political associations out there, but these are the primary ones you'll find. But I bet some of you are wondering, if red represents left-wing ideologies and blue represents right-wing ideologies, then why is the Republican Party associated with the color red and the Democratic Party associated with the color blue? Well, if you click that subscribe button, you'll be informed when I release part 2 of this series where I explain how America's political color associations got mixed up from the rest of the world. And while you're at it, why don't you click that like button and share this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.